All right, so Harley just sent me a giant box. Now, obviously, there's a motorcycle inside of it. The problem is Harley does not send motorcycles inside giant boxes to anybody. So the question that we need to figure out is what's in the box and why did they send it to me? So obviously you and I both know that it's probably a motorcycle, and if it is, we're gonna put it through a series of tests. We know how the Chinese, we know how the Italians, we know how everyone else sends boxes with motorcycles. This is how the Americans do it. First thing, CVO, Custom Vehicle Operations. Most companies have their own performance division. Mercedes has AMG, BMW has M Motorsports, BMW Motorcycles has HP, Yamaha has, what's Yamaha's? I don't know, but almost everyone has one. So what this means, unless they're messing with me, this is part of the CVO division. That means something, don't know what it means. Also, not even sure how they get this box in here. Kind of flimsy. Check it out, check it out. Check it out. Oh, shoot. That can't be. No. Look, check it out. Obviously, that can't be what's in here. But what if? Just saying. And as I looked at that box, it was very clear that this box was so precisely, amazingly built that only Harley Davidson or professionals could have built it. Definitely not me and Joe.
Tornado warning.
We got a tornado warning. Wow, warnings don't mean nothing. Check this out. Joe, did you see this here before?
Nah.
Also,
Why is it smoking?
there's smoke coming out of the box, which is concerning to Bikes and Beards. I think my name is Bikes and Beards.
You hear them? Sirens?
Let's go outside and let's hear those sirens. Is that the tornado sirens?
Yeah, the clouds are moving right here, quick. We got a tornado.
That's not a tornado.
Prove me wrong.
There's no way. That's not a tornado. You see it?
Oh, look right there.
There's circulation right over here.
Hey, you guys taking shelter?
Yeah, what do you do?
Oh, we're at work, trying to ride this thing. We think we see it. If you are outdoors in a mobile home or in a vehicle, move to closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from flying debris.
Please shelter in time.
Yeah, we'll be good.
I'm gonna be pissed if you don't.
Okay.
All right, bye.
I think it's going that way.
Oh, dude, that's it.
It's just south of 840.
Yeah.
South of 840, bro. That's
right there with the G.
That is it.
That's it right there. That's most certainly a supercell.
Supercell.
And it's most definitely working its way straight to us.
At the start of a tornado.
I mean, it's rotating counterclockwise.
It is. Fun fact, in Australia, they rotate clockwise. I don't see a vortex either. That's just like a pre-tornado. Look, the birds are flying into it. They're okay with it. I was watching the documentary Sharknado, and that could be one. You never know. It's got to start where sharks are. Oh, look at this side going this way, this side going this way. Worst case scenario, we hide in that giant crate. It was built by Harley Davidson. Oh, shoot! Right there. Something's going on right there.
Dude, did you see that cow?
So a lot of people are saying this is a Sharknado. There's no confirmed sharks in this tornado. A lot of kids are screaming and crying. That could be a thing. Not exactly sure what. Oh no, there's one above us.
We're like looking in the distance and it's like right here.
Yeah, the one that starts on top of us. I don't know if we ever had a tornado. All right, let's go back.
All right.
So forget that tornado.
We've got a smoking box in here
Looks
still.
like we got a letter.
We didn't invent the motorcycle, we just made it better. You're opening more than just a box. You're opening a legacy, one that began in a tiny shed in Milwaukee with a hunger to build machines that could go faster, run longer, and ride freer. We build our bikes for the doers, the goers, the ones who see a stretch of road and call it home. Inside this box is more than just a motorcycle. It's a chapter in a story that started in 1903, when we believed 2 wheels and a motor could change how people saw the world. Sean, you've stood behind the beard, the bikes, and the burnouts, and that's exactly the kind of grit Harley Davidson builds for. Love, Harley Davidson Motor Company. P.S. You suck.
Ah, come on. I don't suck that much. I'm not that bad. I'm not that bad.
P.P.S. You can't know what a machine is capable of until you try to break it.
So it is a motorcycle. And I'm not saying I'm gonna break it. I'm not gonna try to break it. We gotta get this thing open. It also said in there how to open it up. We know what the Road King's capable of. Well, 260 horsepower for a little while. We're gonna bring it back bigger, stronger, faster, better, everything. We gotta open this thing up.
It's leaking. It's smoking.
So according to the notes, if we pop this open, this thing should come out of here. Power's out. All right, Joe, can you, make sure it doesn't fall out. Okay, are you guys ready? Oh, this door's heavy. Whoa. You seeing this? Yo!
Oh, man.
That is the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Man.
Holy cow. That is a Road Glide. I'm assuming CVO Road Glide. Hold on, hold on. That is, oh my gosh. So it's a CVO Road Glide, right? You see this? What matters is the two letters that come after it. ST. I don't know what it stands. I don't know what SC stands for. Actually, maybe they don't even know what it stands for. But this is the meanest, baddest CVO Road Glide out there. I'll explain that a little bit better, but this is cool. Lights are back. Power's back. Look at that. Look, Harley did a pretty good job setting this up for me. So the more and more I think about it, how'd they get this box in here? This floor is not even attached to the box. The floor is just sitting on top of the floor. This would not pick up and go on a truck. It's almost like they built it here. Also, that thing looks like my neighbor's. Very suspicious. Here's something interesting also. Suspicious. This side is all wrapped up. Poorly done, maybe. But this side is not wrapped up. Suspicious? I think so. Now let's pull this stuff off and let's get this bike out of here. It's a 121 engine. Check this out. While the box was sitting here earlier, we measured the box. This box was exactly 121 inches wide, not including that piece. Coincidence? Strategery? I think so. So where the CVO it's still set up for racing. It's more on the performance side. It's got the bigger engine, but the new CVO has the variable valve timing engine. Also has a seat for the back, pegs for the back. They decided let's make an ST model of it and let's ditch variable valve timing. Who cares about fuel economy? And let's go all in on performance. That's what this bike is. It's got one purpose, one goal in life, and that is look awesome and be one of the baddest baggers come out of a production line. I don't know who Harley has prepping their bikes over there. I'll give them some credit because they don't normally do this stuff, or ever. Look at that. I think they call that gold. Joe, what do they call this? Black chrome?
Something like that.
Bam. Joe, let's push this thing back. Let's pull this bike out of here. You'll also notice it's not cheap. They're not inexpensive. Someone keep an eye on my back.
By somebody mean Joe can come here.
They're not inexpensive, but if you actually add up the modifications that you would do to this thing to get it this way, which is kind of a lot of stuff I did on my Road King, it's much cheaper to buy it than to get these parts put on. Think about this. Front inverted forks, that's like a $7,500 upgrade. Brembo brakes, that's a $2,000 upgrade, and then you have to have it installed. These, I'm pretty sure these are made by Owens, but they don't want to tell you that. But the adjustable rear shocks with the remote reservoirs, also not cheap. Add up all these things, the cool paint job, the stage 2 intake and exhaust, the wheels, put all together. If there was a CVO Road King ST model when I bought mine, which there's not and there'll probably never be because Harley Davidson doesn't care about the Road King anymore. If there was, it would have been cheaper for me to buy that than to do almost all these same mods on my bike. Also, he kind of figured out a way to make it look cooler. Like where I got a big 19-inch front fender. Joe, what size tire is this?
It's a 19.
19. It might be the same tires that came stock on my Road King. Oh, it's lighting up. Check it out. Maybe from moving it. Is it doing it? There we go. I moved the handlebars. All these things lit up. What they're doing now is they're putting the tech that we are seeing in sport bikes into these things. It's got lean angle stability control. So if you're too far over, it won't let you give full throttle to slide the thing out. It's pretty nuts what they're doing to these things. You wanna hear it? 'Cause I wanna hear it. Where is the odometer? 9 miles. It's got 9 miles on it.
9?
Put 9 miles on this. Do new bikes have miles on them?
Yep.
What's the deal with that? I wanted those 9 miles.
They wanted them too.
So this thing claimed 127 horsepower and 140 foot-pounds of torque. That would make it one of the highest horsepower Harleys on the planet or ever to come out of the factory. Manufacturers, sometimes they're telling you crank horsepower, which means on the dyno it's gonna be lower, and sometimes they actually fudge the numbers to make it look like it's lower than what it is. That's why we're gonna go to the dyno and figure it out right now. So I jumped on the new CVO and put an appropriate amount of break-in miles on it. And my first impression of riding this bike on a 120-mile highway road trip was very enjoyable and very comfortable. Oh, and here's Joe. As we made our way over to the Bumpus Harley Davidson dealership in Jackson, Tennessee to see if this thing makes as much horsepower as they claim, I couldn't help but wonder, maybe this bike is special. Maybe it makes even more than what they say. But there's only one way to find out.
It's Bikes and Beers.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I just bought me a Harley and I'm a brand new rider, so I've been watching you a lot about doing beginner stuff like that. So yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, this is the place to be right here.
Oh yeah, I'm coming to get a bike cover and ask you questions while I'm here.
Oh, cool, man. Well, it's great meeting you. Hey, Ed.
How you doing, man?
Awesome, awesome. I might have some questions about the infotainment center and
let's do
and
it.
this bike.
Whatever you got, man.
This is the most slipperiest thing I've ever felt in my life.
I feel you.
Is that just my boots? Are your boots like that?
Mine are the same way on these, man. I don't get a lot of traction either on them.
Maybe we got to take it to the track to get the sticky
I get
on the
that
bottom
glue
of
on
the
there. All right, is this where we're going? Right through here? Will we be able to get a full dyno run?
Yeah.
With the governor on it?
Yeah, we ain't got it.
Nice to meet you. Let's play with it. Cool. Let's try to figure that out. So our dyno tech spent a few minutes hooking up the Road Glide so we can read all its vitals during the pool. And then we were ready to go. But then he explained to me that these bikes are governed at 120 miles per hour and that they cannot remove that. Not because they don't want to, but because they can't. They're not able to change the programming from the stock ECU. But the reason I don't want to replace the stock ECU with an aftermarket one is because that instantly voids the warranty. Well, we ready to do it?
Yes, sir. I think we are. I'm gonna do a couple test pulls because they've changed the location up a little bit.
Okay.
To make sure I get a pretty graph, and
Yeah.
we'll go from there.
All right, so we're gonna start this thing on road mode, do a couple pulls, see what it does, and then go to sport mode, do a couple pulls, see what it does, and then put it on race mode, and then see what it actually does. We don't know whether race mode will let us go past 120 miles per hour, and neither does he, because we've never had one on the dyno before. it's off, we're getting a good pull. It looks like fifth gear, red line, is 120.
Probably is.
And we're gonna do it again in sport mode. In a fifth gear pool, traction control came in. Traction control might be kicking in because the back tire's moving, the front tire's not. I don't know if he's gonna turn it off and then do it again so we can get a better number. And then we're gonna put in track mode and see what happens then, which is probably all the power.
Yeah, it hits that 120 mark and it's done. It just won't do it anymore. Road, sport, track. The torque went up pretty regularly going through. Horsepower did pretty decent too. But we're also getting the bike a little warmer, so numbers are going to change a little bit as the bike gets warmer and colder.
We got all the torque.
And track mode, you got 129, 23.
In track mode.
Yeah, and the map, I don't like the map, but I think that's just from all the vibration around. I don't have any, see how these spark plugs are so close together.
Oh, okay.
They sometimes don't leave a very pretty graph.
Got it.
But yeah, you see right here where you hit that 120 mark, it just cuts off every time.
So what we learned from doing a few pulls was in sport mode, we were able to achieve a very healthy 116 horsepower and 129 foot-pounds of torque. And that fifth gear will get me to 120 miles per hour. And that track mode does not unlock any more horsepower. It just removes all the driver's aids. So then they showed us around the shop, and then we got to celebrate this guy buying a motorcycle. The dyno numbers were good, but what really matters is how the bike does on the track. And we made it here to Montgomery International Dragway. One of the nicest drag strips still around in the South. And drag strips are kind of dropping off all over the place. This place is beautiful, and they do a great job of keeping this place up. Let's get the bike out. So Harley Davidson says this thing can run an 11.5, which is a pretty decent time. The question is, can I run an 11.5 with it? Now, maybe a professional rider can get a number like that. I'm just a regular guy. I've only been to a drag strip once. That was in Florida, and that was an 8th mile. It's the first time being on a quarter mile. So, yeah, who knows? Let's see. Our boys over at Montgomery International Dragway, they opened their doors for us, and I'm not gonna let them down. I hope not. I don't want to let them down. Now, they've been racing Harley Davidson's drag strips for decades. That's not new. However, that's not really the purpose of this bike. This bike is actually going to feel more at home on a road course, but it should feel pretty good on a drag strip. But we got to get a baseline to see actually how fast it is, because anything fast should do pretty well on a drag strip. Something loud just fired up somewhere.
That was like a station wagon.
Now, the owner of the drag strip said after we're done, he might take me for a spin in his station wagon. I don't know what station wagon it is, but he said it's pretty quick. Also, I think he said there's no passenger seat, so I gotta strap myself to the floor.
Death-proof style.
So I'm pretty excited about it. Is this it? I think he's actually getting it ready for us. You know, if the guy that owns the drag strip has it as his drag car, you know it's probably pretty quick. Let's get suited up. Safety, kids, safety. Where's my flip-flops and sandals and shorts? We're doing this Florida style. This is what happens when you don't wear tight jeans. You can't put a race suit on top of it. And you never know when you might have to do that. I bet you, Joe. You might want to take it off for now.
I am making sure it goes in.
Okay, I got it. Are my boots here? I was gonna wear my cowboy boots and I found these. Hey, Joe, bring that fuel over here. Actually, can we use some of that C16? Hey, Joe, never mind. They're gonna give me some race stuff. Little secret sauce. Some of that C16. Thank you, sir. So I did a burnout to warm up the tires and then lined the bike up to the starting line. All right, let's do it. So my first run, I got an 1192 at 109 miles per hour. And I let off at the end before the race was actually done. So there's definitely room to improve. My 8th mile time was 7.65, which was half a second faster than the Turbo Road Glide we ran in Florida a few weeks earlier, and faster than the Africa Twin. And if you're wondering who this guy is, this is Brad. He's the owner of the drag strip and the man. So I went back out to try to shave down 0.4 of a second to hit what Harley says this bike can do.
But then I hit the rip limit every single time.
So I lined it up again and again and again. And no matter what I did, I could not match the time of my first run. A few times I was able to get a slightly faster launch, but then my top speed would be slower. Once I was able to get a top speed of 113 miles per hour, which was pretty good, but with a bad launch. I just couldn't put it all together and get that 11.5 time I was shooting for. And on one instance, my bike hit what it said was 120 miles per hour, but I think I overshot the finish line. But after about 10 runs, I think I've got it figured out, and let me try one more time to see if I can hit that 11.5. Almost hit a bird. That was the worst one? Oh man, I'm just not getting any better. All right, so I was not able to achieve the 11.5. My fastest launch was my first time. My fastest top speed was like the 7th time. Someone can do 11.5 on that bike, I don't doubt it. But the question on everyone's mind is it faster than the other bike that I brought with me? Hey Joe, where's the other bike at? Bring it out. All right, Joe. All right, Joe, you wanna do a practice run?
Yeah.
Maybe do a couple, get used to it.
All right.
Get the feeling of it. You feel good?
Yep.
You remember how to do this?
Yeah. Green light go.
Yeah, green light go. You got it. So Joe brought out the mighty Boss Hoss, which in terms of horsepower and torque, crushed the CVO at an insane 245 horsepower and about 450 foot-pounds of torque. The Boss Hoss should be pretty fast, however, it's got one thing holding it back, and that is the fact that it only has one speed. The V8 powered Boss Hoss starts off hilariously slow, but then as it starts to warm up, it gets faster and faster at every pass. And now we are ready to race the bikes. So they prepped the track again, and we lined up to see if the CVO ST can dethrone 8 cylinders of American muscle. How was that launch? 1222? Oh man. But I beat him though, right? All right. We're gonna go one more and then we're gonna jump in your car. Is that cool? All right. The owner of the track pulled out his wife's grocery getter and invited me to go for a launch. There's no passenger seat, so I sat on the floor and I held onto the roll cage. And then I realized something without thinking it. I even said it out loud. This is how I die. That was awesome. Now, was that just the 8th mile, or you cut it like after the launch?
I couldn't have right after the launch.
Yeah.
Not even half track.
And before we left, the brother of the owner wanted to see if he could beat my time on my bike, which he didn't. And then Brad, the owner, wanted to give it a try too, which was also fast, but he still didn't beat my time. And that's when I realized this motorcycle was fun on a new level. It's comfortable, I can play music, it's got Apple CarPlay, it handles well, it's pretty quick, but it can do more than that. It can also take you places that you've never been, and also places that you didn't think you would ever get to go. Well, I got a confession to make. I've been keeping a secret from y'all. I say y'all now because I'm in Tennessee. For me, motorcycles have been more than just fun and excitement. You could even say that my passion for motorcycles brought me here to a new chapter in my life. And when I say here, I mean right here. Welcome to Sean's farm. A mostly unexplored, ginormous paradise where me, my friends, and family get to ride dirt bikes and build tree houses and potentially build a house for my wife and family someday, buy earth-moving equipment, and for once in my life have a legitimate reason to buy a bulldozer. New channel just launched right now, today, with the first video, me showing you guys the farm. So go check it out, Sean's farm. We'll see you guys later.